So Matthew Knowles, who we all know as Beyonce's dad, is speaking out about colorism within the music industry, saying that the fact that Beyonce is light skinned played a major role in her success, and that Kelly Rowland suffered due to her having a darker complexion. He spoke with Clay Kane on his Sirius XM Urban View show, where Matthew talked about the issue, talking about research that his students did on the subject at Texas Southern University School of Communication. Now, we all know that colorism exists inside of the music industry. I mean, Notori Naughton had to deal with it. The girl, the darker complexion girl that was in 3LW. You have white girls getting tans to look more darker. You have darker skinned girls either using skin lighteners or getting spray tans so they can have a lighter complexion. So, I mean, we are fully aware that colorism in the music industry do exist. And maybe Beyonce being light-skinned did play a role in her success. However, what we're not going to do is act like Matthew Knowles didn't have a role in that. Now, Matthew Knowles spoke about his mother, how his mother basically brainwashed him into thinking that he had to be with a lighter skinned woman, which is the reason why he ended up with Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles. So Matthew Knowles at the time, his mindset when Destiny's Child first came out was probably, light skin is better, right? And being that his daughter, which is in a group, and she's the only light-skinned girl inside that group, and you already know when it comes to parents, like if a parent is managing their kids, like even if they're not going to mean to show favoritism, they're going to show favoritism to a certain extent, right? So what he's not going to do is act like he didn't play any role in pushing Beyonce to the forefront. Because from my childhood, every music video you've seen of them, Beyonce was always in the middle or she was always in the front. The camera was always on her. She always had to sing the main vocals. Always had to sing the main vocals while the other girls sung behind. And once the other girls left and then Farrah and then Michelle had came, it still played the same way. Then once Farrah got lost looking for her luggage, and it just ended up being Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle. Beyonce had made a comment and she was like, everybody finally get to play, get to have like a main role, like everybody get to sing solo in the group now because everybody can sing. But LaToya Luckett could sing. She had came out with Torn, which was a big hit, and some other songs she came out with. So LaToya Luckett could sing. So LaToya Luckett could have had a couple of solo parts in some of those Destiny's Child songs. Kelly could have had a couple of solo parts in those Destiny's Child songs. I think it was more so when the girls had left and they were saying that, or they left or they got kicked out, one of the two, because I think like they didn't want to actually leave. They just wanted some things to change. And I remember back in the day, the girls was complaining about favoritism being shown inside of the group. So, yeah, like Matthew played a big role behind that. And I don't know if it's now that he's old, and he's realizing his actions, and I don't know. And maybe that's why he's speaking out about colorism inside of the music industry now. Because I don't know, maybe like if he could turn back the hands of time, maybe he would have made it equal, but at the time he didn't make it equal. We were fully aware that Beyonce was the main girl. We was fully aware that that Beyonce is who we should be focusing on, because the camera was always on her. She was always in the middle. She was always wearing the cutest things, even in the interviews. When you watch the interviews of them, Beyonce was always the one mainly talking. If the other girls try to talk, Beyonce would either correct them or say, don't say that, or, so we were fully aware on who we should be focusing on. An example I have is TLC, right? TLC Chili was the darkest one inside the group. T-Boz and Left Eye was the lighter complexion ones. But everybody loved Chili. Everybody loved Chili. I remember being a little girl and I used to want to be Chili. Like, you could not tell me I was not Chili back then. Dancing to Creep and to waterfalls and stuff, I was Chili, So what I'm saying is, if you have a group and you're trying to push this group out, right? People are gonna pay attention to who it is that you're mainly putting out there. Just like with B2K, everybody was paying more attention to Omarion because he's the main singer. Who else? It's so many groups out there that the main singer end up being the breakout star, because that's where everybody's attention was made to be at, was that person, So I'm not saying that colorism does not exist, because I'm fully aware that colorism do exist. We have plenty of artists to this day, like 7th Streeter and so many, Tink. So many artists that are darker complexions, and they don't make it that far. They don't make it that far because everybody wants a light-skinned artist. From Cardi B to Rihanna to Beyonce to Tinashe to so many, Colorism does exist in the music industry. But when it comes to Beyonce's situation is a little different, because her father was her manager and they were the ones that was putting Beyonce in the forefront from the start. She was the lead singer. The camera was always on her. She was always the only one speaking in the interviews. He did that. So you can't fast forward years from that and be like, the reason why my daughter is as successful as she is today is because she's light skinned. What? Huh? I'm not saying light skin didn't play a role in Beyonce being as big as she is today. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying Matthew Knowles helped push that. He helped push that. He helped push his light-skinned baby girl to the forefront, because his main focus, let's be honest, was his baby girl. It was not the other girls. It was his baby girl, So I'm just tired of Matthew Knowles talking about it. I'm tired of him talking about colorism and things like he wasn't the one that played a value role back then in the colorism, because he even admitted that at once upon a time he had a colorism mindset. So I don't know what his agenda is now, but I will say that Beyonce is a talented artist. She's always been a talented artist. No matter if she was brown skinned, if she was dark skinned. Now, if she was brown skinned or dark skinned, I do believe that she probably would have had to work a little harder to be where she is now. But Beyonce is Beyonce, no matter what skin complexion that she was. Beyonce works her tail off. Let me tell you, every documentary I've seen of Beyonce, she has worked her tail off to the point that people that work around her hate working around her. Like, this girl will literally lie to you and say, I'm not tired, just so you don't feel like you can be tired, so y'all can keep working. This girl from what I've been told, don't even really allow bathroom breaks. Like, working is working, you know, and especially when it came to her homecoming documentary. You know, we seen her when she had just gave birth to her twins via C-section, and she worked her tail off. Like, at one scene, we seen them massaging her stomach, trying, you know, because she didn't feel like her body was connected. Because us women that has had C-sections, we know how funny your body feels after being cut open, you know. So, yeah, she showed her stomach getting massaged on and stuff. She went on a massive diet. Like, this girl, I'm convinced that she was just eating ice. Okay, to lose her weight, so she'll be at a nice weight for the homecoming. So Beyonce has a marvelous work ethic, and can't nobody take that away from her. She is a workaholic. And even though there's a lot of dark-skinned women that are being discriminated against, we can't automatically say that they would work as hard as Beyonce to be where they're at. We can't say that. But we can acknowledge that colorism does exist inside of the music industry. It does. As well as when it comes to body shaming in the music industry is something else. I mean, they will give you a shot to make your body feel like you're pregnant. You know, so your body will feel like you're pregnant. So you won't retain no weight. They will do some crazy things, you know, to make sure that you have that body image, you know. So I'm fully aware that colorism does exist inside of the music industry. The music industry, if they could, they would give you a nose job, a chin job, a brow lift, a boob job, a butt job, light your skin. They will do all type of things to you if you let them. But if you are an artist and you're serious about your craft, about who you are, you will not let that happen. And if Matthew knows, if the way that he's portraying right now, like he's so against colorism, right? If he had that mindset back then, he would have made sure that Kelly, that Latavia, that Latoya got as much camera play as Beyonce. He would have made sure that all those girls was singing just as much as Beyonce. That he would have made sure that those girls would have been talking in the interviews and stuff, you know, just as much as Beyonce. But he didn't do that. So I feel like it's very weird of him to be all of a sudden talking about colorism and trying to downplay his daughter's talent by saying that she's as successful as she is to this day because she's light-skinned, when he know goodness well that he had a hand in that. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you feel like, you know, it's kind of hypocritical of Matthew to be sitting here talking about colorism when he was fully aware of colorism when Destiny's Child first came out, and he didn't do anything about it? You know, he is these girls' managers. He didn't do anything about it. He seen these girls grow up. He knew these girls when they was in grade school, right? Basically sisters to his daughter, you know. And he didn't say, hey, I want Latavia to be in the forefront sometimes. I want Latoya to be in the forefront sometimes. I want Kelly to be in the forefront sometimes. Everything was about Beyonce, you know. So let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like Matthew kind of needs to, you know, let it go when it comes to the colorism thing? Because in a way, Beyonce's situation is not the same situation as other females that are in the music industry, that don't have their father managing them, that people straight up tell them, oh, you're too dark. I can't post your picture in our magazine because you're too dark, you know, and things like that. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Peace.